Welcome everybody to my outdoor kitchen. My name is Susie Young. I'm an oncology dietitian and I have been with Aon for about a year and a half. My clinics exist in Washington, Idaho, Nevada, and Arizona. And I am joined today by my lovely coworker, Valerie Williams. Hi, Valerie.
Good morning, Susie. It's so nice to join you on this beautiful Colorado day.
Thank you for joining me in my pseudo kitchen out here. Today we are going to do 3 recipes, so I need to be Johnny on the spot. We are going to show how you can take everyday, ordinary meals and enhance the flavors by adding some simple to make sauces. Are you ready?
Yes, I can't wait to see these sauces. I'm going to learn some new ideas today.
Excellent, good. So the first recipe we're going to make is zig sauce. Zig sauce comes from the Mediterranean area, I think Yemen, and I adore this recipe. My husband and I make this all the time, and it's got flavors of cilantro, parsley, garlic, jalapeno, and it can go on a multiple different types of meals, eggs, chicken, cottage cheese, anything that you'd like. So
I
let's
bet
get
it'd be
started.
great on veggies too, Susie. You're always trying to make those veggies taste better. So I bet it'd be great on like grilled vegetables.
Oh my gosh, or a slice of tomato with this zig sauce on top. Oh my goodness, that would be delightful.
Yep, summer on a plate. Well, let's get to it.
Okay, very good. So I've got my handy dandy blender and I've already added the garlic, the lemon juice. I'm going to add in the spices, which is coriander, cumin, salt, and black pepper. I am going to do a quick chop on the cilantro and throw that in and then hit the blender. Now, Miss Valerie, when you use cilantro, do you take time to clean off the stems?
No, I'm lazy when it comes to things like that, especially if you're putting it in the blender. The blender's going to do the work. You're not going to have any woody stems in there. And it looks like you have a pretty hefty blender. So no, I am team all in, stems and everything.
Excellent. That's the way I think too, because we want to make this easy, right?
And less waste too. There's good flavor in those stems. You might as well use it all. Food's expensive these days. Get everything you can.
I love it. All right, now here we go with the big noise.
Oh no, too much power. Perfect. Give a good blender there. Get all of that blended up. It's great too because you can see that cilantro, coriander is actually the seeds of cilantro. So you're getting that flavor 2 ways. There we go. Now we're blending. Took a minute to get it going. And I bet, Susie, when you're done blending, you'll be able to tell us that you can make this sauce ahead and probably eat on it for several days, which is nice. Cook once and eat multiple times.
Okay. Now, if you don't have a blender, but have a food processor, that will work as well. And I do want to mention, sometimes people don't like those strong flavors of the fresh herbs. So I have used spinach in place of either the cilantro or the parsley, because really what I'm looking for is more plant-based foods, and easy to make sauce that's not too intense in flavor sometimes, but you're still getting all of those good nutrients.
Yeah. Susie, that's a great idea, especially for those people who cilantro doesn't taste good to them. They have that trait about them and they won't eat cilantro. Making this with spinach and parsley would be a great fresh sauce.
I know it, and it is delicious. And I understand sometimes cilantro can taste soapy to people. And so adding in the spinach and the parsley and all of the other ingredients are still going to give you a really easy sauce. Now I'm going to slowly drizzle in the olive oil.
Perfect. That olive oil will smooth out that sauce and provide those heart healthy fats that we're all looking for, and also help to carry that great, all those great flavors, carry them and balance them out as well. So I can't wait to see this finished product.
That's it,
That's it. That was easy.
isn't it? And I want to give you a visual of what this looks like on just something everyday that you would have. I adore cottage cheese. To me, it's a great snack or an easy lunch. So let me tell you and show you what that looks like when I add this Zook sauce on top.
That's great. Cottage cheese is a great high protein food too when you're trying to get your protein in a fast way.
Exactly. And it's got calcium. It's got a bit of vitamin D to it. So I'm just going to drizzle a bit of this sauce on there. Now, again, like we talked about, you could add tomatoes to this. You could add onion. I'm going to bring this up to the camera so you can see how gorgeous this is.
Yes, give us a close up.
Okay.
Oh
Isn't that
yes,
pretty?
that's very and so smooth looking there too.
It is. And again, you're getting a big punch of antioxidants.
Great. Sauce one down, two to go.
Okay, here we go. Next is the gremolata. Now, in my household, we have pasta often, and it gets kind of boring. And so I discovered this easy garnish to make that adds a brightness and a big punch of flavor to pasta. It's very easy to make.
And Susie, looking at the ingredients that you're going to go through, it's a lot of what we probably already have in our house.
I know. And another good thing about it, right? You don't have to go to the grocery store to get that one ingredient. It's parsley, it's garlic, and it's lemon zest, and that's it. So I've got my parsley already chopped up. I've got my garlic and my lemon zest in here. And now I'm just going to add it and stir it together.
And Susie, do you have a zester that you use or a microplane to zest your lemon?
I do. And I also do that when I want garlic, fresh
Mhm.
garlic. So I'll use that microplane to grate my garlic. And again, it's just one tool that I have to worry about. And it does two or three different things in my kitchen for me.
I agree. I think a microplane is a great tool for zesting, for even grating Parmesan, garlic, ginger. Just a great tool. Doesn't take up too much room in your drawer either.
I know, and I know you sympathize with this, Valerie. We have small kitchens, so every utensil has to be double duty or triple.
Yes. No one trick ponies in these tiny kitchens. So everybody has to do extra work.
Exactly. So I wish you could smell this. I wish we had smell-o-vision because it is amazing. Now, again, if the parsley is too intense, I also made a second gremolata that is just Parmesan cheese, lemon zest, and some Italian seasoning, dried Italian seasoning. So again, you can use either of these to add brightness, antioxidants, and a ton of flavor to something that you would have on a normal weekday.
And it makes it look so fancy too. A little garnish can make that pantry spaghetti look like you went out to dinner.
Exactly, exactly. So again, I'm just going to sprinkle some of this on top of the pasta. And again, just to give you an idea of how easy that is. So when you're boiling your pasta, you can be making one of these sauces.
Let's see it. I wish we could smell it.
I know, me too. Now, see, doesn't that look a lot more appetizing than just plain pasta?
Oh my goodness, you're like, "Ooh, what's in there? I want that." Whereas if you gave me a bowl of leftover pasta without it, I probably wouldn't want to eat it. So it really elevates it.
Exactly. And 5 minutes and you're done. And everybody at the table is going to be like, wow, what is this?
And also not a lot of extra calories in that additive. Tons of flavor for very little calories.
You're exactly right. Okay, now on to the last garnish splash brightness that we're going to add to a meal.
And Susie, as you just to give you a check-in, it's only taken you 11 minutes to make both of those sauces on camera. So just think, if you think you don't have time to spice it up, Susie's just made 2 sauces in 11 minutes, and she's on to the third.
Yay. That's great. That's great news. And again, like we talked about, when you're making dinner or lunch or brunch, whatever it happens to be, you're preparing something, sauteing, boiling, whatever it is. Somebody else could be making the sauce that's going to add a punch of flavor to just some ordinary meal. Now, the last sauce or garnish that I'm going to make is the magic mushroom powder. Now, granted, I don't have magic mushrooms, but
Stick
I
with us,
do.
though.
What's that?
I said, stick with us, people. Don't hang up, though. You're gonna like it.
But I do want to point out, I'm going to bring this close to the camera. So your natural food store most likely is going to have these dried mushrooms. And I don't know about you, Valerie, but when I'm making pasta sauce, spaghetti sauce, or if I have a soup, I oftentimes will reconstitute these packages in a bit of hot water and then throw it into the sauce or the soup. And again, I get this depth of flavor for very little effort.
Yeah. And you can keep those in your pantry. Nothing's worse than buying mushrooms thinking you're going to cook with them and they get all slimy in your produce drawer when you could just have those in your pantry anytime you needed them.
You're exactly right. And today's recipe uses shiitake mushrooms, but these are creminis. And I've also got this mushroom medley stir fry. So they come in a big variety. So I'm going to be using my spice grinder to make this mushroom powder. Now you can also use a food processor if you want. So again, big noise.
And while Susie works on making this for us, I think that this powder is a great way to get more mushrooms into your diet. I think sometimes the texture of mushrooms turns people off, but mushrooms have so many benefits that using this, and they also bring a meaty, earthy flavor. And so sometimes when you're doing more plant-based eating, mushrooms can really give you more of that meaty, hearty flavor that you're looking for. So this is a great way to add that in. So we'll turn it over to Susie and see how it's going.
So I need, my apologies, but I need to run into my house and get another bowl because my spice grinder is a bit too small to handle all of the mushrooms. So hold on, keep talking, Valerie.
Okay, sounds good. Well, if you thought we had a production crew, as you can see, we don't. We put everything together ourselves for these videos and cook in real time. to show you how you can do this in your own house. Oftentimes, people think cooking is difficult, introducing new foods or plant-based meals or increasing the nutrients that you're eating is time consuming and challenging. And we hope you see from these videos that you can do it in real time in your own kitchen. And she's back already.
Woo,
Hey, we're just keeping it real here.
exactly.
Add in some more mushrooms to the mix. And likely the powder will taste better, different depending on what kind of mushrooms you use as well.
Now, granted, this recipe makes a lot. So if you want to do this, I would advise cutting the recipe in half because it takes my husband and I a long time to go through this powder. Even though we use it on eggs, we use it on top of salad, we use it on top of soups, we use it quite often, but it does produce quite a bit.
And it does last for quite some time. It sounds like it can be kept for several months at a time.
You're exactly right. It can. Yeah, I think I kept this for probably 6 months before I've used all of it, and it's never gone bad. And it's all dried ingredients, so you don't need to worry about putting it in the fridge or having anything go off. Now, in this recipe, it called for 2/3 of a cup of Himalayan salt. But that's way too much salt for me. I know that we all need salt for the flavor, but what I've done is I've cut it in half. And I still feel like you benefit from the flavor and the umami properties of the mushrooms without it costing anything in flavor.
That sounds great. And that's another just good point that you can adjust. If you want this a little saltier for your taste buds, you can adjust more or less, in addition to the peppers you're going to put in too.
Exactly. And I'm so glad that you mentioned that because that is here and that's a whole tablespoon. So for some people, that's way too much spice. So again, make adjustments as you need them.
Susie, I think it's also great too if anyone is going through cancer treatment or anything else that's making food not taste as good. These sauces bring so much flavor that will enhance what you're eating. So if you need a more flavor punch, these are great for that as well.
And COVID, right? I mean, one of the side effects of COVID is a lack of taste. And so if you've had COVID and you feel like you're struggling with things not tasting well, this is a great addition. Any of these sauces would be.
Yeah. Are we all done, Susie?
Yeah, and I'm just going
Wow.
to show you what this looks like on top of a salad.
Great. What's your favorite thing to add this powder to?
I adore it on top of eggs. We
Eggs?
do a lot of scrambled eggs in the morning for brunch or even for dinner. And so I love to add it to that or mashed potatoes. Oh my goodness. That's
I could
another one.
imagine it would be really good on mashed potatoes. And I think people are always looking for a way to spice up eggs because they're a inexpensive protein, and a lot of people have chickens these days. So great idea. Let's see it.
Yeah. So this is just a regular salad with some of this on top of it. And then if I was going to be eating this, I would just add a bit of olive oil and you're done.
Nice. It's like a made-in dressing, huh?
Exactly.
Fabulous. And look how much powder that makes. You could share that with your friends.
You know, I've given this away for Christmas gifts. I don't know about you, but with friends, I like to do some kind of homemade gift. And this is really fun to make and put in fancy jars with a nice ribbon around it. And I'm in somebody's kitchen when they're cooking.
Yeah, exactly. And people love a good homemade gift, and people love food. It never goes to waste.
I
So, well,
agree.
thank you, Susie. This has been 20 minutes, 3 sauces to spice up your life.
Fantastic. Thank you, everybody. Happy eating.
Thank you, Susie.